Hi friends, Mickey Mankus here and welcome to Alta Back Door. Today I want to share a recipe with you for the best chocolate chip cookies ever. Alright, the first thing we want to do is we're going to be creaming our sugar and fat. I've got 1.5 cups of sugar here, just plain white sugar. I'm going to dump that in. 1.5 cups of brown sugar. You want this packed. This is all loosened up on me, so it looks like it's a little more. I'm going to dump that in. Next thing we want is 2 sticks of butter. That would be 1 cup of butter. I am using salted butter in this. And I've also got 1 cup of vegetable shortening. Get that in the bowl. Alright, we'll raise it up. Start it on low. Okay, that looks good. Got a little bit on the top here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding eggs. I've got 3 large eggs here. I'm going to dump those in. And mix that together. I've got 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I'm dumping that in. Now I've been making this recipe for many years. Well, let's say over 3 decades at least. And I always get a request to make this particular recipe. I also have 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda and 1.5 teaspoons of plain salt. You can use table salt if you want, but I'm using sea salt. Alright, mix that in. The next thing I've got is 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and I am going to spoon that in a little bit at a time. The next thing I'm adding is 18 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now, I didn't realize when I had picked up the package about the mini chips instead of the regular ones, but that's okay. So I'm just going to dump those in. We'll start mixing those in. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, let me get some pans out and we'll start plopping dough on there. I'm using my small melon scooper. I've got 3 different sizes, but I'm making smaller cookies today. I'm going to be sending these up with Mike when he goes camping. And these will be kind of like bite-sized, so you can pop them in his mouth at one time. I usually use the bigger melon scoop, but right now I have my oven preheating at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Being I've got a convection oven, I can put 3 trays in at one time, which is nice. It'll cut down on my baking time. I'm going to bake them anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. I'll take a peek at them through the window of the oven like at 8 minutes to see how they're looking. You just want them slightly brown around the outer edges. And the center is going to be a little bit soft, but that's okay when you take them out to cool them because they will set up better once they are cooled. Once I start taking them out, I'll come back and show you what they look like. Okay, cookies are out. I'm going to let them cool on the cooling racks for just a couple of minutes before I start taking them off of the pans, and I got the second load in. So I ended up getting 6 trays total with 15 cookies each on there. And that's, like I said, I used the small cookie scoop, and that was it. Normally when I use the bigger cookie scoop, I get a lot less because my cookies are bigger. But like I said, I'm gonna let these cool down, and then I'm gonna put them on the cooling racks, the cookies on the cooling racks, and I'll let those cool down completely before I start packaging them up. The longer you let these sit on your baking sheets, they're actually gonna bake a little bit longer. That's why I said if they weren't completely dark, yeah, some of them will look a little anemic, but they taste good. They're going to finish baking a tiny bit with the residual heat that's in your baking sheets for those last couple of minutes that I said let them sit there. So I'm all done with that. I want to get them onto the cooling racks. Get these packaged up this evening. Mr. Mankus is packing up and getting ready to go fishing on his camping trip. And being I'm not going, I'm still baking and cooking for him. All right, let me get the rest of these off of the trays and I'll get right back to you. All the cookies are out of the oven and I've got them on the cooling racks, and I've got a small plate here waiting for Mr. Mankus when he gets home from work tonight. I want to thank you for joining me, and I sure hope you try this recipe for the best chocolate chip cookies. Honestly, this is a great recipe. So if you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up and share. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'd really like to hear from you. So until next time, you have a wonderful day. God bless.